Welcome to another episode of Health Your Way podcast, where we discuss health issues ranging from physical, mental, emotional, as well as current facts. Today's episode, we'll be discussing the importance of sustaining a healthy lifestyle as an entrepreneur. My guest speaker, Emeka Menakaya, is a multifaceted entrepreneur, and I wanted him to come on the show today to and provide some insight on how he stays healthy. Because I watch him, I follow him, I respect him, and I think he has great insight on what he's done to sustain a healthy lifestyle. So, with that said, what led you to the path of entrepreneurship? I think that's where we should start to understand your background and who you are as a person.
Sure, absolutely. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Mo, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I think what you're doing with the Health Your Own Way podcast is amazing, and I'm really happy to be on here with you. So thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate that. Look at that.
Absolutely,
Sorry, go
absolutely.
ahead.
But to answer your question, what led me down the path of entrepreneurship? Um, I'll probably go back to 2006, 2005, when my brother and I, Uzo, we both lived in the US. We both lived in Dallas for 11 years. But at that point, we had always wanted to own something or start something. And we just couldn't, pinpoint what it was or what we wanted to do. And then there was a friend of ours who brought up the idea about a fashion brand. And he mentioned the name Agama. And I was like, the wheels started spinning. Okay, hold on, Agama. That's goes with Agama lizard, which is in West Africa, Nigeria. We grew up with Agama lizards in the house, even. So I was like, you know what? The wheels started spinning, and from there, I immediately went to work. I have a background in art. Growing up, I used to draw. Uh, I used to make comic books: Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Ninja Turtles. I still do for my friends who have kids today. I just sketch and draw. So I took that, and I was studying business in college at the time, university. So I really just took that and just started running with it. I had no experience in anything like that, but we decided to take the first step because we knew that the brand made sense. Some of the other brands that we wanted to emulate, like Ralph Lauren, Lacoste, we just looked up to them as high, powerful brands, and we started off following them with our first collection of polo shirts. That's how we started, and from there we just, that from then on, that then led to other opportunities and for me to express my creativity. Some of the other projects or things that I do, I'm also a podcaster. I also host a podcast. It's called the Hustlers Corner Podcast, and thank you. And I started that almost 2 years ago. So I'm going into my third season right now, just working on that. And outside of the podcast, I'm also an actor here in Toronto. So I go for auditions. I've been fortunate enough to be in a few projects, a few TV shows, and I'm constantly going for auditions. As a matter of fact, after this podcast episode with you, I have to submit a self-tape or a commercial. So it's always on the go, but I love it. It's my passion. It's one of my passions. I love acting. I love art. I love just being creative. Um, and also, what else can I add? Oh yeah, also I'm also an author. I recently published a book on the 1st of June. Thank you. It's called The Hustler's Mindset, a guide to help cultivate your mind and personal beliefs to achieve your goals and dreams. So I think for me, I've always considered myself a creative person. I love the creative process of life and just starting something out of nothing, from nothing, and watching it grow and blossom and going through the ups and downs and looking for ways to innovate and expand and grow. So, but even on top of that, I think as Africans, specifically as Nigerians, we just have this entrepreneurial spirit deep down in our bones, even if we choose to acknowledge it or not. Like if you go to Nigeria now, you see people on the streets in the markets, they set up shop wherever they are. Someone has a tray on their head, like bananas, peanuts, and stuff like that. They're selling. It's business. So we just have this, this entrepreneurial spirit. We like business. We like money, but of course, it's more than the money. It's about providing a service that can benefit people, and there's nothing wrong with making an income because of that, as a result of that. So that's kind of how I got started. I just wanted to. This was back in 2005, 2006. We wanted to own something, start something, create something. We're pondering ideas on how to start, And then this idea came, and we just ran with it and kept going. I'm still working on it today.
That's great because that's something that you want to, and that is a very essence of what an entrepreneur is. But with that said, that means that you're a very busy person, right? So I think a lot of people wonder what was your lifestyle like before you became an entrepreneur? Like, was that different than what you are now?
Mm, very good question. As far as my health, so when I started, I wasn't always conscious of my health as far as eating, what I was putting into my body, as I am today. Complete difference. And I lived in the States then, so when I got to the States in 2002, between 2002 and 2005, I was eating all the burgers, all the fries, everything, and I mean, I was definitely heavier and bigger than I was today. Even though growing up I played basketball, and that always kind of kept me somewhat fit and healthy. Um, but once the entrepreneurial route started, and it just things started getting really hectic and really busy, I just had to. I started doing more things in order to stay healthy. Also, on top of that, I have high blood pressure. So
Really?
fortunately, yeah. I mean, it's crazy because I was put on blood pressure medication, I think, at the age of 24, 25. This goes back to when I initially moved to the States. I used to stress a lot. I used to worry a lot because I didn't know how I was going to survive, how I was going to pay tuition. Leaving Nigeria was always a passion or a dream, even though I know my parents didn't have the money. I didn't know how I was going to pay tuition. I didn't know how I was going to pay rent. But we wanted to leave because we felt like once we get there, we'll figure shit out. Sorry, I don't know if I can
No,
curse,
it's
but
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
we weren't sure how we're gonna do it. But you know what? Let's just get there. We'll figure shit out. So I got put on blood pressure medication at the age of 24 or 25. My mom was living with us in the States for quite some time, and she just checked my blood pressure once, and it was like 160 over close to 120. And I was 24, 25. And she was like, "You're a ticking time bomb. We need to go to the hospital now." So I
Oh.
went to the hospital, and the doctor immediately put me on blood pressure medication. Looking back, I think he probably could or should have advised me on changing lifestyles or just more conscious, healthier eating. So I've been on medication since then. I've tried going the natural path routes. I've tried going off the medication or even phasing out. But at this point, it's been, what is it, almost, it's been over about 15 years, something like that. So it's in my system. None of my siblings are on medication. I have accepted it. But there are other things that I do to try to stay healthy. Like I train in mixed martial arts, Krav Maga. I still play basketball. I work out. I lift weights. I got a bike this summer. My first bike ever.
Mike, in almost 20 years.
What am I? I'm 37. It's my first bike, my own bike. So I'm loving it. Here in Toronto, I go for rides in the evening, and also eating. I dated someone, my ex girlfriend. She introduced me to healthy eating, and that's something that I will always be grateful to her about. She really opened my world to more of a um, natural, organic, organic foods, healthy foods, eating clean. Prior to that, I was doing okay. But there are just certain things that she pointed out. She pointed out, like, this has this, right? This has this in it, right? I was like,
So
damn,
you didn't read the
everything that I
ingredients before. You never read the ingredients and never looked at the.
no, never really paid too much attention or close to it. If the package says it's good for you, it's good for you. So I wasn't
Don't
really.
follow what he just said, please.
Nah, listen, I wasn't conscious of that. So she definitely exposed me to more of a healthier way of eating, and that's something that I'm always be grateful for. So these days, I try to stay active through all these activities and just be conscious and be healthy of what I'm putting into my body.
What I'm hearing from you is that it looks like before you became an entrepreneur, you just lived life. But once unfortunately with your blood pressure, but once you started taking more responsibility of trying to, be something more than what you were, you started looking at more aspects of your life, like my physical health, my mental health, and then that I'm thinking that, did that help you long term, or is it helping you in your business when you now start worrying about your overall health?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100% it does, because um, once once I make the conscious decision to take control of my health and just be more active and just eat healthy and cleaner, that's actually empowering. Because and not even on top, and just to add to that as well, sleep. Like I wasn't always appreciative of my sleep, but it got to a point where it was like, listen, I have to have at least 7 hours. If I'm lucky, 8. But nothing is interrupting my sleep. I love my sleep. I love to sleep, but I also like to get shit done as well. I like to get work done and on to the next project. So just those little things. Once I make the conscious decision to take control of my health and what I was putting into my body, it just became more empowering for me.
Then I guess when people are listening to you, okay, so we hear what you're saying. You're taking more responsibility, but a lot of people may like, okay, you have the time. How did you change your mindset, or what can you tell them that will help them understand that they need to take this initiative? From speaking as an entrepreneur, talking to an entrepreneur, like, every day we know we're busy. We're trying to get to the next level, right? How would you, if you were talking to me, how would you help me change my mindset to realize why it's important to really worry about my health? If that makes sense to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think it goes back to for every entrepreneur, I think the major goal is to provide a service while at the same time making a profit, which I think is fair. As long as you can provide a service that can benefit people while making a profit and not at the expense of people, why not? That's a beautiful thing. But a lot of folks, a lot of entrepreneurs, I think a few common misconceptions is they don't have the time, or they're lazy, or it's not for them, they're not
They're
big on working out.
lazy.
Yeah, well, lazy at working out, not necessarily pursuing their passion or goals and dreams, but when it comes
100%.
to taking personal responsibility for their health, or it's just not a priority. Like if as an entrepreneur, you wake up, you have these tasks that you need to take care of today. Workout may not be at the top 3 for some. Now, most, I'd say, entrepreneurs like yourself and so many and similar others,
It's
it's
there.
so,
It's my
yeah,
top three.
it's
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 my
right there.
top three.
Absolutely. It's pertinent, because your health is your wealth. Like, think about it, if you're not, as much as you want to achieve all these goals and dreams, if you're not healthy, how are you going to achieve them? If you don't have your health, how are you going to achieve them? And a lot of people take that for granted.
It's true.
You know what I mean? A lot of people take that for granted. So I think once, you make that conscious decision, and because there is power in decisions, there's power in choice. And once you make that conscious decision and take personal responsibility, you become even more empowered. You start, and listen, I'm not saying go out there and do, a bunch of different activities and workouts. No, but even if it's 30 minutes a day, I mean, you're a certified personal trainer. I'm sure you tell, your
I
clients, even
do.
if
They
it's,
don't listen to me. This is why I have you on the show to tell them. Listen to
listen,
him. He's not a certified. He's somebody that's done the thing. He's living a life. Listen to him talk.
listen, folks, even if it's 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week minimum, honestly, going for a jog, bike ride, aerobics, whatever, just be active. The body needs movement. And what you do to your body, this is the body temple. We only have one body temple. And as far as we know, there is no sequel to this life, right? You have one life to live. So, as far as we know, I don't know anybody that has gone and come back. So, as far as we know, there's only one sequel. There's no sequel. This is the one life we have. So, you have to take care of your body temple. Be conscious of what you do to it and what you put inside of it.
I you can tell people this. I think it's just more. But a lot of people are like, okay, we can't do it. But as you said, there's a lot of misconception. But when it comes down to it, if it's not one of your top 5, that's not gonna. But then when you become successful and you have the money, but now you are not healthy enough to, take advantage of it,
Right,
we can't really help you with that part, right? I think
right.
that's. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I think that's the reason why I was saying is that I would attribute that a lot of people's success in their business has to do with maintaining their health. And I think your success, getting those actor roles, building your business, like you had to realize that something had to change to my physical health so I can give a lot more to my business. And if I'm wrong, tell me, like, That's what I understood from having this conversation with you.
No, you're absolutely right, Mo. And if I could just add, I think
Please.
it's also the reason behind wanting to take a more healthier approach for your body, for your life. Outside of the amazing thing that will come by you looking good, you lose weight, you're more fit, you feel sexier, but for the most part, it's for the most part, it's what's happening on the inside. It's what's happening on the inside, the way your body feels on the inside,
Sure.
and that will also reflect on the way you look and the way you feel on the outside. It's not just for looking good, but you want to feel good as well. So
I like that. And for people that are, and for the audience, if they want to follow your journey, because I heard you say a lot, your podcast, you're an actor, you have your own brand. What is the best social media outlet or platform that we can reach out to you?
So I'm primarily on Instagram and Facebook. On Facebook, it's Emeka Menakaya. On Instagram, it's my handle is Menax, MENAX_99, Menax_99. And from there, you can see the other handles to the other platforms like the Hustler's Corner podcast or my fashion brand, Agama Label. So
We
yeah.
will have that right there too for you. So I think for a lot of people that, you've said a lot and I appreciate it. And this is really one of the reasons why I wanted you on, because again, I can tell people this, but as an entrepreneur as well as you, it's nice to get it from somebody else that is not a certified personal trainer, but has lived the lifestyle and is reflecting it. What is next for you? What's big thing? Any acting jobs coming up that we should be watching? We should be recording, editing, or any, just educate us.
Well, what's next? What's next? Well, right now I'm working on season 3 of my podcast, the Hustler's Corner podcast. So I'm just
Go listen. Go listen. Sorry,
yes, please. Yes, please go listen. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all the platforms, Apple, where you get your podcast. So I'm working on season 3 and just lining up the guests, of which I'm of course grateful to have you as one of my guests for
yes,
season
I'm the
3.
best one there, but go ahead, please. Sorry.
Yes, she is. So I'm working on season 3 of the podcast. Also, I'm working with a couple of really good fellow actors in the industry here in Toronto
Nice.
to produce. It's primarily their project, their idea, but I'm coming on as a co-producer and an actor as well. So this will be my very first short film that I have co-produced and acted in. I've been in a few others before, but this is the first one that I will get the producer credits. So I'm looking forward to that. We should be filming the first or second week of August. So just chipping away at that and working on some samples for the fashion brand for the winter session as well. I feel like I'm forgetting something else, but there's a lot going on. But I'm
Just
just trying
follow
to.
him. Just follow him to find out what's going on. Okay.
There
No,
you
because
go.
you follow him. Like I'm very passionate about this, and I think I'm not trying to cut you off, but I really respect you as a person, and I think you're
Respect.
doing a lot. And I find that what you offer, your platform is really good for people that need to see different thought process. And I think you resemble an entrepreneur that's trying to make a difference and living a healthy life. Hence why you're on my show.
Well, I thank you so much. Thank you, thank you so much, more. I appreciate that. Yes, and just to say, um, for anyone out there who is an entrepreneur or wants to become an entrepreneur, um, don't let anything hold you back. Just go for it. Don't let anybody stop you, tell you what you can or can't do. Your health is very important. Definitely keep that in mind. Put that as a priority up there with your other goals. Because healthy body, healthy life, healthy mind, and holistically, not just physically, but spiritually, mentally as well. Because mental wellness, your well-being, overall well-being, is very important as well.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be on my show. You've given us a lot of information. You've given us an insight in your life. And I wish you all the best, healthy life, long term, and success as well.
Thank you so much, Mo. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on our weekly episode of Health Your Way podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. share with others, and please feel free to comment below and ask any questions on topics we discussed, as well as future topics you'd like to hear about. Have a happy and healthy week, and be sure to tune in next week for the next episode on a Health Your Own Way podcast.